Question 34. A family of curves can often be characterized as the general solution of y dash equal to f of xy. A. Show that for the circles with center at the origin, we get y dash equal to minus x by y. The general equation of a circle with center at the origin is x square plus y square equal to r square, where r is the radius of the circle. This is the general equation of a circle with center at origin 0, 0 and radius r. To get the corresponding differential equation, we will differentiate this equation both sides with respect to x, and we can write d by dx of x square plus y square equal to d by dx of r square. Now, since r is a constant, r square is also a constant, and the right hand side term becomes 0, and this implies 2x plus 2y dy by dx equal to 0, which implies dy by dx equal to minus x by y, which is given in the question. And this is the differential equation of a circle with center at origin 0, 0. Question B. Graph some of the hyperbolas xy equal to c. Find an ODE for them. Now, the given equation is xy equal to c. This is the general equation of a rectangular hyperbola with its asymptotes as x and y axis. A rectangular hyperbola is a hyperbola whose asymptotes are perpendicular to each other. Now, we have already told that its asymptotes are x and y axis, and x and y axis are perpendicular to each other. So, this is an equation of a rectangular hyperbola with asymptotes as x and y axis. The question is asking us to graph some of the hyperbolas. We can take various values of c, such as c equal to 2, 5 and 8 to plot various graphs. Now, from this equation we can write y equal to c by x, and this is the explicit form of the equation. Explicit form. Now, for c equal to 2, this reduces to y equal to 2 by x for c equal to 2. Now, we can use any computer algebra system such as Maple Mathematica or SageMath to plot graphs of this function. As we have done earlier, we are going to use SageMath to plot the graphs. Now, in SageMath, there is a command called plot, which is used to plot explicit functions. Now, here the function is in the form y equal to f of x, and we are going to use this f of x in the plot command to plot the graph. We will go to SageMath and write plot 2 by x, because we can see the f of x is 2 by x for this rectangular hyperbola with c equal to 2, and we will give the x range and y range in which we want to plot the graph. X range from minus 10 to 10, y range, that is y minimum from minus 10 to y maximum equal to 10, and if we evaluate, then this will plot the graph of y equal to 2 by x in the x and y coordinate with x range from minus 10 to plus 10 and y range from minus 10 to plus 10. We want to plot 3 graphs with c value 2, 5 and 8. So, we can replace c in here and we can write c equal to 5 and again copy and paste and write c equal to 8. However, to plot all 3 functions in a single graph, we will assign them to variables p1, p2 and p3. Here you have to note that the equal symbol is a assignment operator, that is, this graph is being assigned to p1 variable and it is not a equality operator as suggested in mathematics. Now, to plot all three graphs, we will assign them to another variable p equal to p1 plus p2 plus p3. If you have seen our earlier videos for problem set 1.1 and problem set 1.2, we have done this kind of graph plotting earlier also. Now, we will write plot.show to plot all three functions in a single graph. We can see that the color of the graphs are by default blue. We can change the color by writing the command color color equal to red for the second function and color equal to green for the third function, and now we can press evaluate to plot all three functions with different colors, and the blue one is for y equal to 2 by x, the red one for y equal to 5 by x, and the green one for y equal to 8 by x. Next, the question is asking to find an ordinary differential equation for them. For this, we will differentiate this original equation both sides with respect to x, and we can write d by dx of xy equal to d by dx of c, which implies the left hand side we use product rule of differentiation, and we can write x dy by dx plus y dx by dx is 1, and the right hand side c is a constant, so this whole derivative becomes 0. From this we can write dy by dx equal to minus y by x, and this is the ordinary differential equation for rectangular hyperbolas of the form xy equal to c. Question C. Find an ODE for the straight lines through the origin. The general equation of a straight line passing through origin is y equal to mx. This is the general equation of a straight line passing through origin with slope m. To get its ODE, we can differentiate both sides with respect to x, and we get dy by dx equal to d by dx of mx, which implies y dash equal to m. Now, m is not an arbitrary constant and m is dependent on x and y values. So, from here we can write m equal to y by x, and we can substitute this value of m in here in the ODE to write y dash equal to y by x, and this is the ODE for a straight line passing through origin. Question D. You will see that the product of the right hand sides of the ODEs in question A and question C equals -1. Do you recognize this as the condition for the two families to be orthogonal, that is to intersect at right angles? Do your graphs to confirm this. From question A, we see that the ordinary differential equation is dy by dx equal to minus x by y, and from question C, the ODE is y dash equal to y by x. First, we will write those two ODEs. From question A, the ODE is y dash equal to minus x by y, and from question C, the ODE is y dash equal to x by y. These ODEs basically give the value of slope at various points x and y, because left hand side term is y dash and y dash is slope. So, the right hand side actually gives the value of slope of the tangent of that curve at any point x and y. Now, as per the question, if we multiply the right hand side of the differential equations, we can write minus x by y multiplied by, I am sorry, this is y by x multiplied by y by x equal to x and y terms cancel out, and we get -1. The question is saying that do you recognize this as the condition for the two families to be orthogonal or to intersect at right angles. From calculus we know that if there are two functions f of x and g of x intersect each other at any point x0 comma y0, then the angle of intersection is same as the angle between the tangents of the two curves at that point x0 comma y0. That means the angle of intersection alpha is same as the angle between the tangents, and we can write tan alpha equal to m1 minus m2 by 1 plus m1 m2 absolute value, where alpha is the acute angle between the tangents. We can see there are two angles between the tangents. This alpha is the acute angle and this beta is the obtuse angle, and in this equation the alpha gives the acute angle between the tangents. Here in this equation m1 is the slope of the tangent of the curve f of x at x0 comma y0, and m2 is the slope of the tangent of the curve g of x at x0 comma y0. That is m1 equal to d f of x by dx at x0 comma y0, and m2 is d g of x by dx at x0 comma y0, as the derivative of the function f of x gives the slope of the tangent and derivative of the function g of x gives the slope of the tangent, and we have calculated the slopes at point x0 comma y0, and the slope of the tangent at point x0 comma y0 gives the value of m1 and m2, which you can plug in this equation to find the acute angle alpha between the tangents. Now, if the family of functions f of x and g of x are orthogonal to each other, that means they intersect each other at right angles. That means the angle between the tangents is 90 degrees. For that we can plug tan alpha equal to 90 degrees, and right hand side becomes m1 minus m2 by 1 plus m1 m2. We know that tan 90 degrees tends to infinity. That means this right hand side term also tends to infinity. Now we have m1 minus m2 by 1 plus m1 m2 tends to infinity. That means this denominator should tend to 0, which implies 1 plus m1 m2 equal to 0, which implies m1 m2 equal to minus 1. That means the multiplication of the slope of the tangents will be minus 1 for two family of curves to be orthogonal to each other, which we have seen here. For the family of circle with center at origin and family of straight line passing through origin, the multiplication of the value of slopes is minus 1. That means those functions are orthogonal to each other. Next, the question is asking to draw graphs to confirm this. We will use Sage Math to plot the graphs. First, we will write the equation of the curves. For the circle, we have x square plus y square equal to r square. We can write this as x square plus y square minus r square equal to 0. To express this in implicit form, that is of the form f of x y equal to 0. To plot a implicit function in Sage Math, we will use the command implicit underscore plot, and the first argument in this is the f of x y function. Now remember that the right hand side of this implicit equation should be 0. That is why we have taken this r square to the left hand side. Now if we plug this f of x y in the implicit plot command, it will plot the function f of x y equal to 0. So we will write implicit underscore plot f of x y is x to the power 2 plus y to the power 2 minus r square, that is r to the power 2. We will take the x range from minus 10 to 10. We write x comma minus 10 comma 10, and y range from minus 10 to 10, y minus 10 10, and we will close the bracket. Now this will plot a circle of the form x square plus y square equal to r square. Before plotting this, we will define the variables x and y. We will write variable quotation mark x space y quotation mark end. Now to plot this equation, we have to plug in various values of r. Let us take values of r from 1 to 5, that is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and for each values of r we will plot the circle. For r equal to 1, the circle will be x square plus y square minus 1 equal to 0. For r equal to 2, it will be x square plus y square minus 4 equal to 0, and so on. For this, we will use the for loop. We write for r in range 1 to 6 with increment of 1. We will implicitly plot this. What this does is, it takes the value of r starting from 1 and up to 6, but not including 6, with steps of 1 in each increment. That is, it starts from 1 and in each iteration it increases the value of r by 1 till it reaches 6, but it does not include 6. That means it will start from 1, go to 2, 3, 4, 5, but it does not include 6, so it will stop at 5, and in each iteration the value of r is used in this equation. Now we want to save all the values of r in a variable, so that at the end we will able to plot all the graphs at a time. So we will write C for circle. Now the value C holds the plot x square plus y square minus r square for various values of r in each iteration. However, in the next iteration the value of r changes and this plot also changes, and the value of C also changes, because the new value of the plot gets assigned to value C. So we will use another variable g, which is a placeholder variable, to save the value of C. Now what this does is, it takes the value of C and it saves it in a variable g. In the next loop, again there is a new value of C for a new value of r, and that gets saved also in the g, and in this way the g variable holds all the plots of the circle for all values of r. First we will initialize the g variable by writing a dummy plot 0. Now initial value of g is plot 0. In the first iteration the value of r is 1. So the plot is x square plus y square minus 1, and this gets assigned to C. Now the value of g is plot 0 and the value of C is the plot x square plus y square minus 1, and these two get saved in g. Now in the next iteration the value of r is 2. So the value of C is the plot x square plus y square minus 4. The previous value of g is x square plus y square minus 1, and the new value of C is x square plus y square minus 4, and these two get added, and now the new value of g stores the plots x square plus y square minus 1 and the plot x square plus y square minus 4 at a time, and at the end of the loop this g value holds all the circles with values of r from 1 to 5, and at the end we will write g dot show to plot all the circles. Now since this is an implicit plot command, the x and y axis will not be plotted in the graph by default. So we have to write access equal to true to plot the x and y axis along with the family of circles. Now we can see we have plotted for r equal to 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 the family of circles. Now, for the family of the straight line passing through origin, the equation is y equal to mx, and we see that this is in the form y equal to f of x, which is the explicit form of a function. To plot a explicit form of a function, we have the command plot, in which the argument is this f of x. One important thing to remember is the left hand side should be only y and the right hand side function should be plugged in this plot command to plot the graphs of the function y equal to f of x. Now, in earlier problems and in earlier exercises, problem set 1.1 and 1.2, we have already used this plot command to plot various graphs. Now, we will use m values starting from -2 and incrementing 1 at a time, that is -1, 0, 1 and 2. For these 5 values of m, we will plot the family of straight lines y equal to mx passing through the origin. So, we can write a dummy variable similar to above with a dummy graph plot 0 and write for m slope in range starting from -2 till 3 with increment of 1, because we have discussed that we are going to take the range of m from -2 to +2. However, in range function this 3 value does not get included, that is, it starts from -2 and reaches up to 3, but not including 3. So, we have taken from -2 to 3. Now, we will use a variable s for straight lines and write plot m multiplied by x, x range from -10 to 10 and y range from -10 to y max equal to 10. Now, this holds the straight line for various values of m in that iteration. We will use f equal to f plus s similar to above. Now, this f variable holds the family of all straight lines passing through origin with values of m starting from -2 to +2. Now, we will use another variable k and assign it to g plus f. We know that the variable g holds the family of circles for r value from 1 to 5, and the variable f now holds the family of straight lines passing through origin for m values from -2 to 2, and so now the k variable holds both the families together, that is g and f. Now, we will plot k. Now, this will plot both the family of circles and family of straight lines in a single graph. We can see that at the point of intersection of the straight line with the circle, at any point the tangent to the circle is perpendicular to the straight line. Similarly, we can take any point of intersection of the straight lines with the circles, and at any point we will see that the tangent to the circles is perpendicular to the straight lines. That means the curves are orthogonal to each other. Question E. Sketch family of curves of your own choice and find their ODEs. Can every family of curves be given by an ODE? Now, let us take a function y equal to ax square. We know this is the equation of a parabola. Now, for various values of a, we can plot the family of this parabola. We can take a values starting from -5, -4, -3 and increment by 1 till it reaches 5, and we can plot this parabola for these values of a using this similar method as we have done earlier. We already initialized a placeholder variable f. We can write a in this place, start from -5 and reach till 5. So, we will write here 6, plot a x square. So, a multiplied by x to the power 2. x range from minus 10 to 10 and y range from minus 10 to 10, those will be the same. And now we can plot f. No need to write this access command because we are not going to plot implicit functions. So now this will plot all the parabolas of the form y equal to ax square for a values starting from minus 5 till plus 5. We can see that the upward opening parabolas are for values a positive and the downward opening parabolas are for a values negative. Next, the question is asking us to find their ODEs. So for this function we can write dy by dx equal to d by dx of ax square, which implies y dash equal to 2ax. Now the value of a we can bring from here and we write a equal to y by x square. So from here we can write y dash equal to 2 multiplied by y by x square in place of a multiplied by x. X cancels from numerator and denominator and we can write y dash equal to 2 y by x, and this is the ODE for parabola of the form y equal to ax square. Next, the question is asking, can every family of curves be given by an ODE? Let us take a general equation for a family of curves y equal to f of x. Now to find the ODE we have to differentiate both left hand side and right hand side. So we can write dy by dx equal to d by dx of f of x. However, we can find this derivative only if f of x is continuous and differentiable. So for any family of curves to have a differential equation, the function f of x should be continuous and differentiable. Only then an ordinary differential equation will exist for a family of curves. Problem 35. A CAS can usually graph solutions even if they are integrals that cannot be evaluated by the usual analytical methods of calculus. Question A. Show this for the 5 initial value problems y dash equal to e to the power minus x square for y of 0 equal to 0 plus or minus 1 plus or minus 2, graphing all 5 curves on the same axis. So the differential equation given is y dash equal to e to the power minus x square, and we have been given 5 initial value conditions: y of 0 equal to 0, y of 0 equal to 1, y of 0 equal to minus 1, y of 0 equal to 2, and y of 0 equal to minus 2. These are the 5 initial value conditions that we have been given. Now we can write from here that dy equal to e to the power minus x square dx, and we can integrate both sides. However, the integration of this function e to the power minus x square cannot be expressed in terms of normal functions such as trigonometric, logarithmic, exponential and all those common functions. So this is not integrable in terms of common functions. However, as per the question, we can plot the graphs of the solutions even if they are not integrable by usual analytical methods of calculus. For this we are going to use Sage Math. We are going to use a command desolve for solving ordinary differential equations. The first argument of the command is the differential equation that is to be solved. The second argument is the dependent variable. In most cases the dependent variable is y, and there are many optional arguments. One of the optional arguments is ICS or initial conditions, we write this in square brackets with two values separated by a comma. The first value is the x value and the second value is the corresponding y value. For example, in this case the x value is 0 for y value 0, so we can put 0 comma 0, or if for x equal to 0 y is 1, then we can put 0 comma 1 and so on. Now we are going to go to Sage Math to plot the 5 curves. First we are going to write the differential equation. We can write dE equal to diff y comma x. This diff y comma x means dy by dx or differentiation of y with respect to x, double equal to symbol e to the power minus x square. We are going to use bracket for this x square term. Now in programming, single equal to symbol means assignment and double equal to means equal symbol as it is used in mathematics. So for this highlighted part, this means dy by dx equal to e to the power minus x square as it has been given in the question, that is y dash equal to e to the power minus x square. Now this equality symbol means this equation has been assigned to the variable dE. Now this dE variable holds this entire equation. So instead of writing this equation repeatedly, we can only use the dE variable which represents this entire equation. Now before this we are going to define the variables x and y. So x is a variable and y is a function, so we can write y equal to function bracket in quotation mark y, and it is a function of x. So this is the syntax, y equal to function y bracket x. Now we can use the dE solve command. As I have told you, the first argument is the differential equation. We can write this entire differential equation in here like this, or we can just write dE because dE variable holds the differential equation. Now we have the dependent variable which is y and the initial conditions ICS equal to, in square brackets, the first initial condition is 0 comma 0, that is for x value 0, y value is 0. Now this command can solve the differential equation. However, we have 5 more initial conditions, so we are going to copy and paste this 5 times. The second initial condition is for x 0, y is 1. For the third, for x equal to 0, y is minus 1. For the fourth, 2, and for the fifth, minus 2. Now we are going to store these solutions in many variables. So we are going to define variable S1 in which we will store the first solution, S2 for the second one, S3 for the third one, S4 and S5. Now this S1 to S5 variables holds the solution of the differential equation for initial condition 0, 0, 0, 1 and so on. Now the question is asking to plot the graphs, so we are going to define another variable P1 which will plot the S1 solution with initial condition from minus 10 to 10. We can copy and paste for the second one, and P2 will plot the S2 solution, that is this one, for initial condition 0, 1 and so on. We are going to paste it 5 times and write P3, P4, P5, S3, S4 and S5. Now this P1 to P5 variable holds the graphs or the plots of the solutions. Now we can take one variable P and write P1 plus P2 plus P3 plus P4 plus P5. Now this P variable holds the graph of all the 5 differential equation with 5 initial conditions, and we can write P dot show to plot all the solutions in a single x and y coordinate. We can see these are the 5 solutions for 5 initial value conditions. We can see for x value 0, for this plot y value is 0, for this plot for x 0 y is 1, for this plot x 0 y is 2, for this x equal to 0 y equal to minus 1, and for this at x equal to 0 y is minus 2. Question B. Graph approximate solution curves using the first few terms of the Maclaurin series obtained by term-wise integration of that of y dash and compare with the exact curves. The Maclaurin series of any function f of x is summation from n equal to 0 to infinity nth derivative of f calculated at 0 by n factorial multiplied by x to the power n. Here this factor means nth derivative of f of x calculated at x equal to 0. So, if we take f of x equal to e to the power minus x square, then we can evaluate the Maclaurin series for this function e to the power minus x square by using this formula. First, we have to find various derivatives of the function f of x at x equal to 0. That is, first we will calculate the derivatives, then we will substitute x equal to 0 to find f n 0. For n equal to 0, which is the first term, f n 0 will be f 0 0, which is equal to f of x. So, f of x is equal to f of 0 x, which implies f of 0 calculated at 0 equal to, we can substitute x equal to 0 here to find e to the power 0, which is 1. Now, f dash x or derivative of the function e to the power minus x square with respect to x is same as f 1 x, and this we can find by chain rule, which is minus 2 x e to the power minus x square, and which implies f of 1 0 we can find by substituting x equal to 0 here, which is equal to 0, because this term will be 0 and this term is 1. So, the whole term is 0. F of 2 x means second derivative of e to the power minus x square, which is equal to d by dx of this term, because this is the first derivative. So, minus 2 x e to the power minus x square, which is equal to minus 2 multiplied by derivative of this term, which we can use the product rule to write x multiplied by minus 2 x e to the power minus x square, that is the first term multiplied by the derivative of the second term, and then the second term e to the power minus x square multiplied by the derivative of the first term, which is x. So, f of 2 0 or second derivative of function f of x calculated at 0 will be, we have to substitute 0 in this equation. This first term will be 0 because there is x term here, but this second term will be 1. So, the whole sum of the terms inside the bracket will be 1, and the answer is minus 2. Similarly, we can calculate f 3x, which is the derivative of this term, which is equal to d by dx of minus 2 multiplied by minus 2 x square e to the power minus x square plus e to the power minus x square. We can separate these two terms and we can write 4 minus 2 multiplied by minus 2, which is 4 d by dx of x square e to the power minus x square plus minus 2 d by dx of e to the power minus x square. We can differentiate it and we can write 4 multiplied by product rule of differentiation, which is x square multiplied by minus 2x multiplied by e to the power minus x square plus e to the power minus x square multiplied by 2x minus 2 multiplied by minus 2x multiplied by e to the power minus x square, which we can simplify and write minus 8 x cube e to the power minus x square plus 8 x e to the power minus x square plus 4 x e to the power minus x square. These two terms we can add and we can write minus 8 x cube e to the power minus x square plus 12 x e to the power minus x square. This is the derivative, which implies f3 of 0 we can calculate by putting x equal to 0 in here. If we put x equal to 0, this term becomes 0, so this whole first term becomes 0. Similarly, the whole second term also becomes 0 because x equal to 0. So f3 0 equal to 0. Now we can find f4x equal to derivative of this term, because it is the third derivative of f of x with respect to x. So we can write minus 8 x cube e to the power minus x square plus 12 x e to the power minus x square, which is equal to minus 8 multiplied by derivative of this term. We can use the product rule and we can write x cube multiplied by minus 2x multiplied by e to the power minus x square plus e to the power minus x square multiplied by 3x square plus the second term. For this we can write 12 multiplied by, we will use the product rule here and we can write x multiplied by minus 2x multiplied by e to the power minus x square plus e to the power minus x square multiplied by derivative of x, which is 1. Now we can directly calculate f4 of 0 by substituting 0 in place of x in this. We can see this first term becomes 0 because this x term is multiplied by e to the power minus x square term. Similarly, the second term also becomes 0, third term also becomes 0, and only fourth term remains. Now the fourth term becomes 1 because if x equal to 0, e to the power 0 is 1, and which will be multiplied by 12, and the whole answer becomes 12. Now we have the 4 values, f4 0 equal to 12, f2 0 equal to minus 2, f3 0 equal to 0, f1 0 equal to 0, f1 0 equal to 0, and f0 0 equal to 1. Now we can use the Maclaurin series and we can write Maclaurin series of e to the power minus x square equal to, we can write the first 5 terms in this equation. We will first put n equal to 0, then 1, then 2, 3 and 4, and we can write the first term will be the bottom will be 0 factorial multiplied by x to the power 0, f of 0 calculated at 0, plus the second term will be f of 1 calculated at 0 divided by 1 factorial x to the power 1 plus f of 2 calculated at 0 divided by 2 factorial x to the power 2 plus f of 3 calculated at 0 divided by 3 factorial x to the power 3 plus f of 4 calculated at 0 divided by 4 factorial x to the power 4. We see that f10 is 0 and f30 is 0. So, these two terms will be 0 because f10 and f30 are 0. So, we will only calculate the first, the third and the fifth term, and we can write this equal to, that is e to the power minus x square, and this continues up to infinity. f00 we had calculated to be 1 over here, f00 is 1 divided by 0 factorial x to the power 0 plus f20 we had calculated to be minus 2 over here. So, we will substitute that value and we can write minus 2 divided by 2 factorial x square plus this f40 we had calculated to be 12. So, we can write 12 by 4 factorial, which is 24 x to the power 4, which is equal to, the first term becomes 1 because 0 factorial is 1 and x to the power 0 is 1. So, this is 1, 2 factorial is 2. So, this whole term becomes minus x square, and 12 by 24 is 1 by 4. So, the third term becomes x to the power 4 by 2. Now, we have plus up to infinity. Now, the question is saying to take first few terms of the Maclaurin series. So, now we have obtained first few terms of the Maclaurin series. So, we can write e to the power minus x square approximately equal to 1 minus x square plus x to the power 4 by 2. We have taken first 5 terms of the Maclaurin series, and this is the approximate value of e to the power minus x square. We have the differential equation y dash equal to e to the power minus x square, which implies dy equal to e to the power minus x square dx. We can integrate both sides, and now we will substitute this value of e to the power minus x square in this place, and we can write integration of dy equal to integration of 1 minus x square plus x to the power 4 by 2 dx. From this we obtain y equal to x minus x cube by 3 plus x to the power 5 by 10 plus a constant c, which is the integration constant, and this is the approximate value of the solution y of x. Now, we can use this equation to plot the approximate solution curves, but first we will calculate the value of c for the 5 initial conditions that has been given. The first initial condition is y of 0 equal to 0, which implies left hand side y is 0 for x equal to 0, which implies 0 equal to 0 minus 0 cube by 3 plus 0 to the power 5 by 10 plus C, which implies C equal to 0 for the first initial condition. For y of 0 equal to 1, similarly we can write 1 equal to 0 minus 0 cube by 3 plus 0 to the power 5 by 10 plus C, which implies C equal to 1. Similarly, for the other three initial value conditions, that is y0 equal to minus 1, y0 equal to 2 and y of 0 equal to minus 2, we can calculate the values of C, and for y0 equal to minus 1, C will be minus 1. For this case, y0 equal to 2, C equal to 2, and for the fifth case, C equal to minus 2. These values of C we can substitute in this general solution to find the particular solutions, and there will be 5 particular solutions: y equal to x minus x cube by 3 plus x to the power 5 by 10 plus 0, because the first C value is 0. The second particular solution will be y equal to x minus x cube by 3 plus x to the power 5 by 10 plus 1 for C equal to 1. Y equal to x minus x cube by 3 plus x to the power 5 by 10 minus 1 for C equal to minus 1, and similarly we can find the other two particular solutions also. These are the 5 particular solutions that we have obtained, and we can plot these 5 particular solutions in the xy plane by using the plot command as we have done earlier. Now we will go to Sage Math. These were the graphs for the actual solutions. Now along with the actual solutions, we are going to plot the approximate solutions. We will write plot x minus x to the power 3 divided by 3 plus x to the power 5 divided by 10. This is the first particular solution. For x value from minus 10 to 10 and y value same from minus 10 to 10. Y max equal to 10. We will assign this to a variable a1, a for approximate solutions. We will copy this and paste it 4 times. A2 equal to this plus 1, A3 equal to this minus 1 for C equal to minus 1, A4 will be this plus 2 and A5 will be this minus 2. Now these 5 variables hold the 5 plots for the approximate solutions. We can similarly write A equal to A1 plus A2 plus A3 plus A4 plus A5. Now this A variable holds all the graphs of the particular solutions. Now we can write A plus P and assign it to a variable K, A plus P. From the beginning we know the P variable holds graph for the actual solution curves, and now the A variable holds the graph of the approximate solution curves, and K value holds both the actual solution curves and the approximate solution curves, and we are going to plot K. We can see that these are the actual solution curves and these are the approximate solution curves. For a certain range of x and y, the actual solution curves and the approximate solution curves coincide, but for extreme values of x they actually differ by a lot. If we take more number of terms in the Maclaurin series, then these two graphs, that is the approximate solution graphs and the actual solution graphs, will be more similar to each other. Question C. Repeat the work in question A for another ordinary differential equation and initial conditions of your own choice leading to an integral that cannot be evaluated as indicated. Let us take the ordinary differential equation y dash equal to sin x square. Now, the sin x square function is not elementary integrable, that is, its integration or its integral cannot be expressed in terms of elementary functions, that is algebraic, trigonometric, logarithmic or exponential functions. Now, even though it is not elementary integrable, we can plot its solution using a CAS system. We are going to use the same method that we had used in question A to plot the solutions. However, as per the question, we are going to take some initial value conditions first. Let us take the initial value conditions, that is y of 0 equal to 0 plus or minus 1 and plus or minus 2, that is at x equal to 0 y equal to 0, at x equal to 0 y equal to 1, minus 1, 2 and minus 2. So, we are going to take these initial value conditions and plot 5 particular solutions of this ordinary differential equation, even though this function sin x square is not elementary integrable, similar to the function e to the power minus x square, which is also not elementary integrable. For this, we are going to go to Sage Math. We will copy this previous code. However, we cannot use this online version of the Sage Math because of limitations of the online version of Sage Math. So, instead we are going to use the offline version of the Sage Math. You need to go to the Sage Math website and download the Sage Math software for your computer and double click on the icon on the desktop that says Sage Math Notebook. After double clicking, a Jupyter Notebook will open in your web browser and we can input the commands similar to here in that Jupyter Notebook and we will get the results. However, we do not need any internet for this because we are not using the online version of the Sage Math. The Jupyter Notebook looks like this. We will go to New and Sage Math 9.2, and in this line we can input our codes similar to the online Sage Math shell. These lines we do not need because we are not plotting the Maclaurin approximation. Also, we will delete this line. Now, we will go from the top and check the program. The first line is variable x, which is needed, y equal to function y of x, then dE equal to derivative of y with respect to x, and this function is sin x square. So, we will write sin x to the power 2. Now, our initial value conditions are 0 0 0 1 0 minus 1 0 2 and 0 minus 2. So, these are fine. This S1 to S5 holds the particular solutions for these initial value conditions. We have written S1 equal to solve the differential equation dE with dependent variable y and initial value conditions 0, 0. So, now we take this S1 to S5 variable and plot them. We are going to plot S1 to S5 from x range of minus 10 to 10. Now, this p value holds the plots of all the 5 initial value problems. This line we do not need, and here at the end we will write p dot show and run. Now, you need to be patient because depending on the speed of your computer, it will take 10 to 15 minutes to get the output. Now, we have got the result and it took 9 minutes to get the result. These are the 5 particular solutions with the initial value conditions that we had taken. This is for 0 0, this is for 0 1, this is for 0 2, this one is for 0 minus 1 and this one is for minus 2, 0 minus 2. you can see that the function seems to be discontinuous in some places. However, this is due to limitation of sage math only. Actually, the function is continuous throughout the interval. All the solutions are actually continuous. Because of these warnings that sage math has failed to evaluate the function at some points, that is why these discontinuities are being shown. You can go to Wolfram alpha and cross check that actually these graphs of the solutions of the differential equation are continuous. We will go to the home page of Wolfram alpha, then scroll down and go to differential equations, then click on linear ordinary differential equation, then we will write here y dash equal to sin x to the power 2 and will press compute, and this will show the graph of the solution, which we can see from here that the solution for positive x and y values is actually continuous throughout the interval. Also here you can see that for various initial value conditions the various graphs have been plotted and the output is continuous. Question 36, Torricelli's law. Suppose that the tank in example 7 is hemispherical of radius r, initially full of water, and has an outlet of 5 cm square cross sectional area at the bottom. Make a sketch. Set up the model for outflow. Indicate what portion of your work in example 7 can you use so that it can become part of the general method independent of the shape of the tank. Find the time t to empty the tank A for any radius r, B for radius r equal to 1 meters. Plot t as a function of radius r. Find the time when h equal to r by 2, A for any radius r and B for radius equal to 1 meters. Now for solving this, we are first going to go to example 7 and understand that example. This is the example 7 from the book. This example is regarding Torricelli's law. The statement of the problem is leaking tank, outflow of water through a hole, Torricelli's law. This is another prototype engineering problem that leads to an ODE. It concerns the outflow of water from a cylindrical tank with a hole at the bottom, figure 13. We can see in figure 13 the tank is full of water and there is a hole at the bottom through which water is leaking out. You are asked to find the height of the water in the tank at any time if the tank has a diameter of 2 meters. So it is given that the tank has a diameter of 2 meters and the problem is asking to find this h of t, that is water level in the tank at any time t. It is also given that the hole has a diameter of 1 centimeter, that is this small hole through which water is leaking out has a diameter of 1 centimeter, and the initial height of the water when the hole is opened is 2.25 meter. This height, that is when the hole started leaking at this initial point at time t equal to 0, h of t was 2.25 meter, and from this we can get the initial condition, that is h of 0 equal to 2.25 meters. When will the tank be empty? So as the water is leaking out from the bottom of the tank, gradually the water level will drop and reach to 0. So the tank will be empty when h of t equal to 0. So h of t equal to 0 is the condition for empty tank. Physical information. Under the influence of gravity, the outgoing water has a velocity v of t equal to 0.6 square root of 2 GHT. That is, this water which is coming out has the velocity v of t, which is expressed by this equation, which is the Torricelli's law. And it is also given that ht is the height of the water above the hole at time t, this height. and G is 980 centimeter per second square in CGS units and 32.17 feet per second square in FPS units. And this G is the acceleration of gravity used in this equation. So in the solution, first we have to set up the model. For this, consider the following diagram. Suppose this is the water level at time t. The height of this water level at time t is expressed by h of t, and because the hole is circular in shape, so the water will be coming out in a cylindrical shape. Cross section of the hole is A, which has been given to be 1 centimeter in the question. And let us assume that delta x length of water comes out in a time delta t. Then the volume of this cylinder, that is the volume of water coming out in time delta t, can be written as A multiplied by delta x, that is the cross section of the cylinder of water coming out of the hole, multiplied by the length of the water coming out in time delta t. Now we know that x is the distance, which can be written as v multiplied by t. So this can also be written as A multiplied by velocity v multiplied by time delta t, which is used here to calculate the volume of water which comes out in a time delta t, that is this small cylinder's volume. Now if this much water comes out of the hole, then also the height of the water inside the tank decreases. Now let us assume that the height of the water inside the tank decreases by a amount delta h in a time delta t. Then this volume can be calculated as cross section of the tank multiplied by this height delta h. And if you assume B as the cross section of the tank, and this can be written as B delta h. Here negative symbol is taken because the volume is decreasing inside the tank with increase of time. Now we know that the volume of water that comes out of the tank equal to the decrease in the volume of water inside the tank. So this quantity and this quantity are equal. So we have equated both the quantities here, that is AV delta T equal to B delta H. Here we can see again that there is a negative sign because with increase in time or with positive delta T, the height of the water is actually decreasing. So if delta T is positive, then delta H is negative. That is why there is a negative sign to equate both these quantities. Now from here we can rearrange this equation to get delta H by delta T equal to minus A by BV. And if T tends to 0, this delta H by delta T becomes dH by dt, which is equal to minus 26.56 AB square root of H. Here 0.6 square root of 2G has been calculated with G taken in CGS units, that is G equal to 980 centimeter per second square, and this comes out to be 26.56. And here A, as we had discussed earlier, is the area of the hole, and B is the cross section of the tank. Now we see that this is a separable equation, so we can take H to the left hand side and dt to the right hand side, and we can write this as dH by square root of H equal to minus 26.56 A by B dt. And if we solve this equation, we get this one, and after rearranging we get this equation, that is H of t equal to C minus 0.000332 t whole square. So this is the general solution of the differential equation, and we can get the particular solution by using this condition, that is at time t equal to 0, the height of the water inside the tank was 2.25 meter. So we can substitute H in centimeters as 225 centimeters, and time t equal to 0 to find the value of C, which has been found out to be 15 in this case, and we can substitute this value of C in the general solution to obtain this particular solution, which is h of t equal to 15 minus 0.000332 t whole square. Now in this particular solution, if we put h of t equal to 0, we can find out the time t taken for the tank to be empty, which is done right here. The height h is put as 0 and the time has been found, which is 45,181 seconds or 12.6 hours. We can see from here that at time t equal to 0, the height of the water inside the tank is 225 cm. So it lies between 250 and 200 centimeters. And the height of the water decreases with increase in time gradually and reaches at 0 at time 45,181 seconds, which is plotted right here. We can use this example to solve problem 36. In problem 36, the tank given is a hemispherical tank, so we cannot use this second equation because the second equation is only for a cylindrical tank. As we had seen, we had calculated the decrease in volume by multiplying delta H with the cross section of the tank, that is B. However, for a hemispherical tank, this cross section changes with change in height, that is at this height the cross section is different from at this height. So the cross section is not constant throughout the height of the hemisphere. That is why the second equation cannot be used. However, we can use the first equation because still the hole is circular in the hemisphere also. So this delta V equal to AV delta T equation will be used for solving problem 36. But this second equation cannot be used. Now we will go ahead and solve this problem by taking reference of this example 7. This is the sketch of the hemispherical tank from which water is going out of a small hole at the bottom of the tank. First we will write down the data given in the question. It has been given that the cross section of the hole at the bottom of the tank is 5 centimeter square, that is A equal to 5 centimeter square. If we assume that the cross section of the hole is A, and from Torricelli's law we know velocity of water coming out of the hole equal to 0.6 square root of 2g h of t. Now as per the example 7, if we assume that the water is coming out in a cylindrical manner, then we can write delta V equal to A V delta T, where delta V is the volume of water coming out of the hole in a time delta T. Now if water is coming out of the hole, then the level of water inside the tank will also decrease. Now we have assumed that h of t is the height of the water or the level of water at time t. Then after a time delta t, the level of water will decrease by delta h. Now in this hemisphere, this length equal to r, which is the radius of the hemisphere. So that means this length is also r and this height is also r, and this height equal to r minus h of t, because this whole height is r and this height is h of t. So this height is r minus h. So this r of t is the radius of the cross section of the level of water at time t, can be written as r of t equal to, in this right angle triangle we can write hypotenuse r square minus the perpendicular r minus h square. So this is r square minus r minus h whole square root. So, this can be written as r square minus h square plus 2rh square root, and we can write this as square root of 2rh minus h square. So, the cross section of level of water can be written as pi r square, which is equal to pi multiplied by this term square, which is 2 RH minus h square. Then the decrease in the volume of water delta V can be written as the cross section pi r square multiplied by this delta H, that is the height of water decreased in that time delta t. So, this is equal to cross section multiplied by delta H, which is equal to, this term is the cross section of the level of water at time t. So, this can be written as pi 2RH minus h square multiplied by delta H. Now, we have to use a negative symbol here, because as we have seen in the example, the height of the water is decreasing with time. Now, if we take this as equation 1 and this as equation 2, then the volume of water coming out of the hole is same as the volume of water decreased in the tank. So, these 1 and 2 can be equated, and we can write A V delta T equal to minus pi 2RH minus h square delta H. Now, we can put the value of A, that is 5 centimeter square, in here, and we can write 5 V delta T equal to minus pi 2RH minus h square delta H. Now, in this equation we can substitute the value of V from Torricelli's law, and we can rewrite this equation as 5 multiplied by 0.6 square root of 2 G H multiplied by delta T equal to minus pi 2RH minus h square delta H. This implies delta H by delta T equal to 5 multiplied by 0.6 square root of 2 G H divided by pi 2 R H minus h square with a minus symbol here. Now, this right hand side is equal to minus 5 multiplied by 0.6 square root of 2G divided by pi multiplied by square root of h divided by h whole into 2r minus h square. We have taken all the number terms here and multiplied it to all the symbols here. These numbers can be calculated. Now, this is equal to minus 42.28 multiplied by square root of h divided by h whole into 2r minus h square. Now, if delta t tends to 0, then delta h by delta t can be written as dh by dt. So, from this we can write dh by dt equal to minus 42.28 square root of h by h whole into 2r minus h square, and this is the model that we have constructed. Now, we can solve this differential equation to get h as a function of t. This is a separable differential equation because there are h terms here which we can take to the left side, and we can write this as, this implies h whole into 2r minus h square by square root of h dh equal to minus 42.28 dt. Now, this square root of h and h cancels out. Now, from this we can obtain square root of h 2r minus h square dh equal to minus 42.28 dt, and we can integrate this both sides, and we can write, this implies 2r h to the power 3 by 2 by 3 by 2 minus h to the power 5 by 2 by 5 by 2 equal to minus 42.28 plus a constant of integration c. This can be simplified and written as 4r by 3 h to the power 3 by 2 minus 2 by 5 h to the power 5 by 2 equal to, here it will be 42.28 t plus c. So, this will be minus 42.28 t plus constant. Now, this equation is not in the explicit form, but it gives the height of the water h of t as a function of time t. In this equation, we can put any time t and calculate what is the height of the water at that time. So, this is the solution that we got from the differential equation, and this is the general solution. Now, initially the hemisphere was full of water. That means at time t equal to 0, this h of t is equal to r, because at time t equal to 0, this will be the level of water. This is the level of water at time t equal to 0. So, at t equal to 0, h of t must be equal to r, because this total height is r. This condition we can put, that is h of 0 equal to r, in the general solution to find the particular solution. So, we have the initial condition h of 0 equal to r. So, from this equation we can put time t equal to 0, and we can write 4r by 3 h equal to r. So, here we will write r to the power 3 by 2 minus 2 by 5 r to the power 5 by 2 equal to C, because time t equal to 0. So, this whole term becomes 0. This we can simplify. I will write this C value we can put in the general solution to get the particular solution, and we write 4r by 3 h to the power 3 by 2 minus 2 by 5 h to the power 5 by 2 equal to minus 42.28 t plus this constant c we have to write in here, and this will be 14 by 15 r to the power 5 by 2, and this is the particular solution of the differential equation. Now, the question is asking find the time t to empty the tank for any radius r and for r equal to 1 meters. Now, when the tank will be empty, this h of t will be 0. So, we have the condition for emptying the tank. We can write for the tank to be empty, h of t equal to 0, and if we put h of t equal to 0 in this particular solution, then the time t obtained will be the time taken to empty the tank. The question is asking first to calculate the time taken to empty the tank for radius r. So, we will put h equal to 0 in this equation, and we can write the left hand side becomes 0 because there are two h terms which both become 0, and this is equal to minus 42.28 t plus 14 by 15 r to the power 5 by 2, which implies t equal to 14 by 42.28 multiplied by 15 r to the power 5 by 2. The right hand side we can write 0.02207 r to the power 5 by 2. So, this is the time taken for the tank to be empty for a hemispherical tank of radius r. Now, if r equal to 1 meter, then this 1 meter we can write as 100 centimeter, because you can remember initially we had put a equal to 5 centimeters, also we had put g equal to 980 centimeter per second square to calculate this factor 42.28. So, we have been working in the CGS unit all along. So, we have to convert 1 meter into 100 centimeter here, and we can calculate the time t equal to 0.02207 multiplied by 100 to the power 5 by 2. There is a multiplication symbol here, which is equal to, we can write this as 0.02207 multiplied by square root of 100 whole to the power 5. Square root of 100 is 10 and to the power 5 is 10 to the power 5. So, this is equal to 0.02207 multiplied by 10 to the power 5, which is equal to 2207 seconds, and we can convert this into minutes, and we can write this is equal to 36.78 minutes. by dividing 2207 with 60. So the time taken for a tank of 1 meter radius to empty is 36.78 minutes. Now the question is asking to plot t as a function of r. Here t is the time taken to empty the tank. Now we have this equation which gives the time taken to empty the tank for a tank of any radius r, and this equation we can use to plot the graph. So we have the equation, this equation we can use to plot time t as a function of r or t of r, that is time taken to empty the tank for various values of r or various values of radius of the hemispherical tank. We can use Sage Math to plot this. Now one thing to remember here is, in this equation this time t is in seconds and this r is in centimeters. Now we will go to Sage Math and we will write plot the equation is 0.02207 multiplied by r to the power 5 by 2. Let us say we will plot it from 0 to 200, and this will plot the function 0.02207 r to the power 5 by 2. We will define the variable r first, and we can write var r and press evaluate. This is the plot. We will copy this plot. You can see that the x axis shows radius r in centimeters and the y axis shows the time t taken to empty the tank in seconds. Now we have already calculated for r equal to 100 centimeter, the time taken is 2207 seconds. From here we can see for r equal to 100 centimeters, the corresponding time is a little bit higher than 2000, which is 2207 seconds. So we see that this graph also matches with the calculation that we had done earlier. Next, the question is asking find the time when h equal to r by 2, that is when this h is exactly halfway from the top for h equal to r by 2, again for any r and for r equal to 1 meters. So we can put h equal to r by 2 in the particular solution to find the time t. So we have the particular solution like this, and in this equation we will put h equal to r by 2. So we can write 4r by 3 r by 2 whole to the power 3 by 2 minus 2 by 5 r by 2 to the power 5 by 2 equal to minus 42.28 t plus 14 by 15 r to the power 5 by 2. From this we can calculate t by taking this term to the left hand side. This implies 4 by 3 1 by 2 to the power 3 by 2 r to the power 5 by 2. We have multiplied this r with this r to the power 3 by 2 to get r to the power 5 by 2 minus 2 by 5 1 by 2 to the power 5 by 2 multiplied by r to the power 5 by 2 equal to minus 42.28 t plus 14 by 15 r to the power 5 by 2. This implies 4 by 3. This 2 to the power 3 by 2 is square root of 8 multiplied minus 2 by 5 multiplied by this 2 to the power 5 by 2 is square root of 32 whole into r to the power 5 by 2 equal to minus 42.28 t plus 14 by 15 r to the power 5 by 2. We can take this term to the left hand side and these all terms to the right hand side, and we can write 42.28 t equal to r to the power 5 by 2 multiplied by 14 by 15 minus bracket 4 by 3 multiplied by 2 root 2 minus 2 by 5 multiplied by 4 root 2 whole into r to the power 5 by 2. This is equal to r to the power 5 by 2 whole into 14 by 15 minus 2 by 3 square root of 2 plus 1 by 10 square root of 2. This right hand side we can simplify and we can write r to the power 5 by 2 multiplied by this term which is equal to 0.53264, which implies time t equal to 0.53264 divided by 42.28 r to the power 5 by 2, which is equal to 0.012598 r to the power 5 by 2. This equation gives time taken for the water to reach half of the height of the hemispherical tank for a tank of any radius r. Next, the question is asking what is the time taken to reach h equal to r by 2 or to reach half of the height of the hemispherical tank for r equal to 1 meters. So, for r equal to 1 meters we can substitute the value in here and we can get the time taken to reach half of the height. So, r equal to 1 meters, which is equal to 100 centimeters, which implies, so from here we can write time taken to reach half of the tank t h by 2 equal to 0.012598 multiplied by 100 to the power 5 by 2. This 100 to the power 5 by 2 is equal to 10 to the power 5. So, this can be written as 1259.8 seconds. We can divide this by 60 and we will get the value in minutes, which is equal to 20.99 minutes or approximately 21 minutes. So, for the water to reach half of the height of the hemispherical tank, the time taken is 21 minutes for a tank of radius r equal to 1 meters.